Have a look at this short scene and see how you think it could have been directed better.
Will the defendant please rise?
The sentence of this court is that you, Dimitri Valores, be incarcerated for a period of 20 years. The defendant is forthwith remanded into custody of a U.S. federal marshal. This court is adjourned.
How could this pretty ropey scene have been directed better? To answer that, we need to know some things. What's the purpose of this scene? Why is it in the film? Ultimately, this film is a love story about this woman and this guy. We never see this character or this character again. What they're doing here is important to the story, but they are definitely not. The issue with this scene is that as a director, one of the fundamental things you are doing is telling the audience what's important, what they should care about. One of the ways you can do that is to make that moment stand out in some way, big or small, depending on how much you want to highlight it. To highlight a moment, you could cut to a close-up, you could push the camera in, you could play dramatic music, you could use slow motion, you could use the movement of the actors. The list is long. But here's the thing, these methods and the power to highlight a moment are relative. For example, if you were to shoot your entire scene in close-ups, using a close-up to highlight one particular moment in that scene wouldn't be as effective. It just wouldn't stand out. The same with pushing the camera in or any other method. Now, you don't have to use any of these things to highlight a moment, but the way you use them will have an impact on the audience's perception of the moment, whether you like it or not. So when it comes to directing a scene like this, where it's important the audience takes in what's happening, but the characters and their feelings are something you don't want to highlight to the audience, something you don't want them wasting their attention on, how could you do it?
Not be pronounced?
No, Your Honor. Yes, I have something to say. You can put me away, but you can't put away what's going to happen to you and to this whole country next time. Next time we are going to...
I won't say any more. We'll leave that for the appeal. It is the judgment of this court that the defendant, John Huberman, having been found guilty of the crime of treason against the United States by the jury of this court for the Southern District of Florida at Miami, be committed to the custody of the United States Attorney General for imprisonment in an institution of the penitentiary type for a period of 20 years. And the defendant may be forthwith remanded to the custody of the United States Marshal.
Here, we have at least 5 different camera positions, this extreme low angle, dramatic music, a close-up, slow motion, a push-in, and even if this scene in black and white while the rest of the film is in colour. And all these methods deployed to make us pay attention to things that don't matter. Hitchcock, on the other hand, puts the camera way back here. He doesn't move it. He doesn't move the actors. He even has most of the actors facing away from the camera. He makes it so there is absolutely nothing new happening visually to distract us. So as an audience, there's only one thing to occupy us: listening. And we take in this bit of information we need to know. Then later, when Hitchcock does cut to close-ups, we feel the moments that are important. When he pushes the camera in, we understand what the character is feeling in that moment. And when he cranes the camera from right up on the balcony down to the key in this character's hand, we pay attention to that key. Hitchcock knew what was the heart of the story.
Look, I'll make it easy for you. The time has come when you must tell me that you have a wife and 2 adorable children, and this madness between us can't go on any longer.
I bet you've heard that line often enough.
And what wasn't. And that's why he was so good at telling that story.